Audio Jungle.
Is Kanye West going to be part of the festivities that you're planning?
No.
No, okay.
Kanye and Donald are good friends. Donald's a great admirer of Kanye, as we all are, but he's not performing at the inauguration.
So you've been in charge of the planning. I know you've been raising a lot of money, up to $75 million to finance all the things. You got 4 days planned. How is the planning going?
The planning's going great because I'm the best concierge and baggage claim person that you can imagine. It's complicated, right? An inauguration is a tribute to the office. It's a tribute to democracy. It's a tribute to the only peaceful transfer of partisan politics that ever happens this way in the world. So it starts on Tuesday and it ends basically on Saturday morning with a cadre of very complicated events. But we're hosting a couple million people on site in Washington. 150 million people watching on TV during those events, and within that week, 300 or 400 million people watching around the world. So it's quite an event.
And you're planning a lot of it. You've been working also with Mark Burnett, who knows Donald Trump very well, obviously producer of The Apprentice, the creator. What is Mark Burnett doing? Because we all know he knows how to produce a reality event, of which this is going to be one of the biggest ones Donald Trump, or the biggest one Donald Trump will ever be a part of.
Look, we have a great group of Donald's visionary friends, Mark Burnett and Steve Wynn, and they bring a vision to silos of events and then produce them. So Mark has a great chemistry with Donald. He knows him well. They did this for 10 years.
Yeah.
And so he's taking one night with Stephanie Winston Wilcox, who's one of the great event planners of the world, a relentless, incredible woman. But the details of all this are amazing, right? So the smallest dinner is 400 or 500 people. The largest dinner is 22,000.
22,000.
Yeah, and we have 3 of them at one time. So being a party planner is very difficult. It's better than a cabinet job because it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. But to do it seamlessly and then to produce it for TV. So it's different just having a production, as you know, than having TV. And at the same time, everybody's working on the transition. The president's last choices have been awesome, and I think he's done it with considered and thoughtful acumen. So it's a lot going on at one time. But this administration, by December, will have filled 80% of the most important jobs, which is far ahead of any other administration.
So in terms of the numbers, they've filled a lot. I don't know if you just heard as we were coming into the commercial, Trump, well, today obviously announced 2 more picks, right? You got state, you got interior. Both of them are white men, so now you've got all 4 of the most influential cabinet jobs. If you look at attorney general and state, defense and treasury, all white men. President Obama, there was a woman in there was an African-American. George W. Bush, Colin Powell was on that list. Is this an issue for Trump?
Zero issue. Look, first of all, previous administrations had gigantic reservoirs of qualified candidates from which to choose. So if you looked at Hillary could have chosen from a legion of President Obama's previous picks who were qualified, who were confirmable, who were interested, who were available and had some experience. President-elect Trump started from scratch saying, I'm going to find a reservoir of people who know how to use the system but are not of the system, and started from point zero. So the idea was start in the main jobs with the most qualified people. Diversity, obviously an issue across the fabric of the tapestry, but at the beginning, getting those beginning jobs is getting the best qualified people. So, and it's happened. I mean, Steve Mnuchin is an unbelievably safe set of hands and very, very smart, dedicated loyalist at Treasury. Wilbur Ross at Commerce. Rex Tillerson, I think, is a dream pick. And all of this controversy around his relationship with Russia is you need experienced warriors who know where the hardware is, who know what the subtlety of a cultural sixth sense is, who know what the issues on a historic basis have been, who are free of a bureaucracy. So you happen to pick in this man, by chance, an organization that's bigger than the State Department. Right? The State Department has a budget of $65 billion. ExxonMobil is $590 billion in assets, $65 billion in revenues, 50 countries around the world. This man has negotiated, been a diplomat, run a business, and has relationships with all of those people, which is only the benefit. He's not setting policy. Congress is really setting policy.
Right.
So it's a great opportunity. And people who think, why is Russia the enemy? You need Russia to solve the Middle East crisis. You need them to respect the United States, but you need somebody who understands how to glean and harvest that respect. So I think you have to wait until this president has filled out his cabinet and then look at the menu of diversity and say, was that properly
So quickly
done?
before we go on, John McCain, who seems very much against Rex Tillerson, says Vladimir Putin is a butcher, he's a murderer, he's a thug. Wrong?
I don't know, but it's irrelevant. You have to deal with him. Is that a statement of saying we're not going to deal with him, we're going to go to war with Russia? I don't think that's a very knowledgeable or profound way to look at the world. Donald Trump is a deal maker. He's going to find places that he can adjust honorably and make deals, and I think he's done a great job.